Our text takes place when Jesus is on the cross, and we hear that hanging over him a sign is hung, and it reads, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. That's our text. Now, if you have even just a brushing familiarity with the news. I mean, if you're a newsie, you know this for sure, but even if you just kind of every now and then tune in, you have heard of demonstrations where people have gathered together, be it in our country or other nations, under the banner, No King's Day. Now, I'm not wanting you right now to let your mind start spinning about what you think about secular authority in general, about our government in particular, or any given administration specifically. I just want you to kind of think about scripturally the declaration that there is indeed a king who rules and reigns. And this king, the one who was identified under that sign, Jesus of Nazareth, has come to topple tyrants. It's what his fellow countrymen wanted. They wanted the Roman Empire to be given the boot, to be driven out. They wanted the Herodian dynasty removed. They wanted the restoration of the Davidic throne once more. Jesus has come to topple tyrants, but not in a way anyone expected. Jesus has come to topple tyrants not by sword nor by ballot box, not in order to gain control that he never previously had, because his is the kingdom and the power and the glory. He hasn't come to distribute power to others that they might wield it sinfully, which is probably how they would wield it. Jesus has come to topple tyrants, one at a time, starting with your heart and with mine. By nature, we are prone to fight for control. We like authority. We want and desire power. We want to drive and dominate the agenda. Whether it is with the spouse or the kids at home, I usually want the final say, and I'm not alone. So does my spouse and kids. With the stock market or the housing market, we want to have control of the day. In our places of work or even our places of worship, we want our way to be the way. We know what it is to seek to build a kingdom of our own. We want control. We want authority. Be nice to be king. Jesus has come to topple tyrants, one at a time. Martin Luther said this condition in us is so strong that we would, and I quote, if possible, push God off of his throne and set ourselves squarely thereupon. Which is why generally when we protest authority, be it nationally or occupationally, familially, congregationally, we really just want a different authority. You aren't saying pointing at me, you're pointing at yourself, but I'm pointing at me. Ourselves. Jesus has come to topple tyrants, one at a time, starting with your heart and starting with mine. Jesus has come to fight that access of evil, Satan, our sin, and the sepulcher, the grave. And as he does so in this text at this time, it all plays out. The scene is real. The history is true. The events take place. The crowds assemble. They are riotous. The noise is deafening. There are people sitting in judgment all over the place, and there is one king, or one ruler, on the judge's seat. And he begins by questioning Jesus about his royal credentials, his kingly status. Are you a king? Pilate asks Jesus. Jesus responds, "If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would fight for my control and my coronation." Jump forward a little bit, and Pilate says, "So, you are a king." You are right in saying that. Jesus is king every day, everywhere, for everyone. And yet, the apostle tells us that he did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but made himself nothing, emptied himself, took on the form of a servant, and became obedient, even to death. Death on a cross. He would not protest. He would not raise his voice in the streets. Quietly, submissively, he would go to a hill, nailed to a cross, and breathe his last beneath a sign that read, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews." If you're familiar with that episode, later on, Pilate, who had the sign erected on the cross, is challenged, and his reply to those who are challenging him, he says, "What I have written, I have written." It's kind of a power move that at the same time is rubbing the Pharisees' nose in it. But my thought is, you know what? Pilate didn't write enough. He's not just King of the Jews, the Gentiles alike, everyone. He's not just king in the Middle East, but on the West Coast, everywhere. Not just in 30 AD, but in 1530 and 2030 and 3030, as long as the planet keeps on rolling, every day. Yes, Jesus is king every day, for everyone, everywhere. And what appeared to be utter defeat was ultimate victory. What looked like a loss to tyranny as he died on the cross was actually the coronation of royalty. Jesus' reign is validated and verified in his death and his resurrection for you and for me. He has toppled the tyrant that lived in here, that lived in there, and he has brought us under his good and gracious kingship. And he calls us royal priests, which simply means we are called to serve the world by serving like our King in humility, that others might come to live in his kingdom simply by trusting his word and living their lives according to it, joining us in the joyful confession that yes, Jesus is King every day, for everyone, everywhere. Pray with me. King Jesus, rule and reign in our hearts and in our minds. Send your Spirit that we might gladly hear your word, lead our lives according to it, and welcome many into the kingdom that has no end. For you, yes, are its King, every day, everywhere, for everyone, world without end. Amen.